Hi everyone, and welcome to the September Sew Along. This month we have chosen to make this beautiful sunflower table runner. This design comes with 4 blocks, 2 different sunflower blocks, a stem block and a corner block, and can be made into the 4x4, 5x5, 6x6 and 7x7. Although we have used our blocks to make a table runner, the design is pretty versatile and can be used for a variety of different projects. In this video, we will be showing you a quick run through of the process we used to create some of the blocks, as well as the construction of the table runner. Let's begin with the corner block. Lay your first piece of batting on top of your hooped up stabilizer and stitch down. Using your applique scissors, trim away the excess batting. Place fabric A, this is the background fabric, right side up on top of the hoop, covering the batting, and stitch down. Stitch the placement line for the first piece of applique. This will be for one of the 3 leaves on this block. Lay one of the fabric B pieces right side up, covering the placement line, and stitch down. Use your applique scissors to trim away the excess fabric around the leaf. We will now repeat the applique process for the other 2 leaves using the remaining 2 fabric B pieces. Embroider the swirl detailing as well as the satin stitch in and around the leaves. Repeat the applique and satin stitch process for the stem. Next, embroider the sunflower petals. And finally, repeat the applique process as well as the detailing and satin stitch for the center of the sunflower. Once you have finished all of the applique and embroidery, remove the block from the hoop and trim the seams to about 1/2 inch using a rotary cutter and ruler. You have now finished your first block. The remaining blocks for this design are made using the same techniques that we used in the corner block. I find these blocks great because you use larger pieces of applique, which make trimming much easier. As you can see, we are currently showing you one of the sunflower blocks. The applique for this block is so simple yet so effective. Continue making as many blocks as you like and need for your project. Now the rest of the video is showing you how to construct the table runner. If you are making a table runner, lay your blocks in a similar layout to ours. In the instructions, you will see a diagram which will further help you to understand the joining process. Begin with your first row and place the first 2 blocks in that row right sides together. Pin along one edge and then move over to your sewing machine to stitch the 2 together. Continue joining the remaining blocks in that row using the same technique. Once we have all of the blocks in each row joined, grab the first 2 rows and place them right sides together. Pin along one edge and then use your sewing machine to stitch the 2 together. Use the iron to press the seams open on the back. And then use this same technique to join the remaining rows. Lay your backing fabric out on your work surface with the wrong side facing up, and then place the table runner wrong sides up on top of the backing fabric. They should end up being right sides together. Using a measuring tape, mark out where you want to leave the opening. We suggest putting it on one of the longer edges and also making it about 6 inches wide. And then go ahead and pin the rest of the table runner and the backing together. At this point, you can move straight over to your sewing machine to stitch the 2 together. However, as you can see, James is trimming away all of the excess fabric as he found it easier to work with when there wasn't as much fabric in the way. He trimmed the fabric back to about 1 inch from the edges of the table runner to allow for any movement. Moving over to your sewing machine, stitch around the perimeter of the table runner with about a 1/2 inch seam, and make sure you do not stitch where you have marked your opening. Once sewn, go ahead and remove all of the pins. And then, using a rotary cutter and ruler, trim back all of the edges to about 1/4 inch. However, where the opening is, leave about a 1/2 inch seam. Also clip all of the corners and points. To make the turning process a little bit easier, we like to roll up and scrunch the whole table runner. This will help remove any stiffness in the blocks. Turn the table runner out through the opening and using a pointy implement, push out all of the points. Give everything a good press with the iron as well. To finish off your table runner, hand stitch the opening closed and then also stitch in the ditch all of the internal seams. Well done, you have now finished your sunflower table runner. We can't wait to see everyone's projects and we hope you enjoyed this month's sew along. Happy sewing!